Well, let's move on. Still on that money theme, though, there is no shortage of councils in this country that are spending money on the most ridiculous things. But I think today we may have found the best one yet. Merri-bek Council down in Victoria is spending $45,000 on a pride painting. They are painting the road with a pride flag, and that's going to cost them $45,000. You can see that glorious painting there on your screens, but you might be sitting there thinking, going, oh, that is a lot of money. But it turns out this is actually the most financially responsible pride painting they could do, because at another site on another road would have cost an additional $20,000 to do a traffic safety assessment. So I guess the residents of Merri-bek should actually be thanking the council for making this very financially smart move to build it at this crossing, not the other one. This time it's only cost them $45,000. But the council responded to criticism very swiftly by saying this project will create streets and public spaces that encourage physical activity and socialisation amongst local communities and makes public spaces feel safe and inclusive of all genders, backgrounds and abilities. Oh yes, because if there's not a pride flag painted on the road, all of a sudden it is highly dangerous in inner city Melbourne for people of diverse backgrounds. I mean, give me a break. What does this achieve, and what an utter and complete waste of money?
I'll tell you what it achieves. It gives you the opportunity to drive your great big diesel guzzling vehicle over the top of the homosexual flag. That's the opportunity. I mean, like, honestly, I always thought the protocol with flags was you don't put them on the ground, right? Flags are never to touch the ground, and they're certainly not to be stood on or driven over the top of. So it seems rather odd that if you're trying to pay homage to some community or a flag, that you'd say, yes, we'll paint it either on the footpath where people can tread all over it, or we'll paint it on the road where people can do skid marks on top of it. And why do we need to pay 45 grand for that anyway?
That also included community consultation within that $45,000 fee. So we've got to add that into it. But I just feel for $45,000, that money could be better served representing that community perhaps in a different way that actually might go and represent them other than having a flag painted on the road. And now with councils, they just seem to have so much. They think they are so much better than what they are. They need to stick with roads, rates and rubbish. That is what the council's job is there to do.
Well, this fits into the rubbish category.
And roads too, I suppose.
Yes.
But $45,000, just think where that money could have been much better spent. And I just think it is the most ridiculous story. When I saw that, I just had to roll my eyes. And I thought, of course, that's also in Melbourne.
Well, you could fill up a few potholes if you're going to spend it on roads.
Well, you could.
And what does it actually do? It's like those, you know, those signs. They're done up as like street signs, and they say, you know, hashtag racism not welcome. And every time I see one of those signs, I go, I mean, street was clearly racist before they put that. Racism has been eliminated because the council has declared it's not welcome on this street anymore. It's the same principle painting a gay flag on the road. What does it mean that every homophobic person in the Merri-bek Council has now changed their mind because there's a flag on the road? It doesn't.
Well, you'll feel safe. The wording was, it's now safe. So because that flag is painted on the road, everyone will feel safer in that space.
Well, that would seem like a really unsafe place for people to go and gather, wouldn't it, on the road? You'd get run over.